it's Ali from Little Hill Homestead. Welcome to our home today. For dinner tonight, we are making homemade ramen bowls. If you guys ever, my husband is sitting here and it's always awkward when he sits here and watches me, but he's right here. We have some places locally that we like to go for ramen bowls. Unfortunately and fortunately, the prices have gotten ridiculous. The place local to us for the chashu pork that we like is like $25 a bowl now. If we take our family of 5, sometimes 6 if girlfriends go with us, we can't afford that. And let's be real. You're eating ramen noodles. They're supposed to be like 30 cents a pack. So like, we're going to make our own. But I'm not going to show you the whole process, but I want to show you guys how we make just the ramen noodle part of it. And then sometime I can show you how we do our, I don't do chashu pork. You know how to say it. I don't do pork because we did pork belly a couple times, and honestly, one time when I got it, it had a nipple on it, and it freaked me out. And so I'm kind of weird about meat anyway. So we make ours with chicken thighs, and then my husband does the soft-boiled eggs for it. And we do corn and chili bombs and all that stuff. But the most important part is really good ramen, and 2 is the liquid broth. I don't want to make the broth yet. I do want to make the broth. Let's be real. But I haven't taken the 2 to 3 days to do it. And so we just buy a soup base. That's what we use for now. I will work on boiling down bones and doing all this cartilage and marrow business. But
I think I'm doing that.
I'm going to make my husband do it. I mean, it's fine. But for ramen noodles in general, there's only 4 ingredients. This is a really easy one. So let's do it. One of them you can make yourself. It's easier just to buy it. It's lye water. That's the one we got. It's actually a product of the Philippines. This one is. I got it at the local Asian market. You can also make it yourself using baking soda, and you bake it to cook out whatever the active property is, and you mix it with water. I decided just to do this because although I do make a lot from scratch, I considered doing it the other way, but it's the summer and I don't want to run my air conditioner to make up for the fact that I'm running my heater. Although I am making soup. It is what it is. So the first thing you need is 3 cups of, this is just regular old all-purpose flour. We use unbleached all-purpose flour. If you don't want to, you do you. So we have 3 cups of flour going into a bowl. To that, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt. This is going to be a lot like making homemade pasta. You need to have a pasta extruder, or you can roll it out really flat and use a pizza wheel. But in order to get the thinness of a ramen noodle, you really need a pasta maker. So we have a manual one that I will show you in a little bit. So I'm just going to take my hand and mix together just the salt in with the flour. I'm going to set that to the side. In a measuring cup right here, I have 1 cup of room temperature water. We just use our Berkey water. It's just what we have. Did I shake this well enough? I think I did, but let me make sure. Like I said, this is lye water. It's a food additive. It's water and sodium hydroxide, which is basically baking soda, but broken down differently. You need 1.5 teaspoons of lye water to go into your recipe. What it does is ramen noodles are basically like an alkaline-free, I believe is what they are, noodle, and that's why they're just a different texture than like spaghetti. But you know what I need, sous chef? You need 1 chopstick.
I can get you 1 chopstick.
You need a chopstick in order to stir this. You can use a spoon, but for the initial part to get this water mixed in, you need a chopstick. You're gonna pour your liquid into the middle of your bowl, and then you're just gonna use a chopstick to kind of roughly. I can't tip it because it'll go all over the place, but you just want to kind of roughly mix your water in with your flour. You're going to use your hand to work it in for the second part, but this is the best way to get it worked in for the first part. And if you guys have noticed that I've worn the same shirt in the last 3 videos, I tend to do videos a bunch on the same day. We just got back from being out of town, and so honestly, I'm still sleeping on California time. I'm not getting up till 8 o'clock in the morning, and that's bad for me because I don't get as much done. But, and the worst part is I'm not staying up any later. I still go to bed at 10:30, so.
That's 5 a.m. California time, though. So
yeah, but
it's still pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. Usually I get more done in the summer. I like to get outside and water the garden and do stuff outside before it gets really hot. Because we live in the South and it gets really hot and humid if you don't get out there early. And even if you get out there early, it's still hot and humid. It doesn't cool down like at night like some places do. So we have a really shaggy dough going. And now we're going to use our hand to kind of mix it together at this point.
We are going to use our hands? It looks like you're doing all the work and I'm just sitting here.
I'm doing all the work. That's fine. My husband gets to be the one to
eat the ramen.
Eat the ramen, but also he's the one that's going to run it through the pasta machine. He's better at that than I am. Okay. I'm going to add a little more water to our dough.
I promise I'm not useless.
I do a couple tablespoons at a time. My husband is not useless. He's the best sous chef I have. Well, the best one I know, the one I have. I only have one sous chef. I'm going to add a little more water into our dough. So I'm at a cup and a couple tablespoons right now. And that's probably going to do it. All right, I'm going to put the little bit of flour on the counter. And I'm going to pop our dough onto that so that we can continue mixing it. Because once you add water to a bowl, you're not going to be able to mix it in there anymore. This is like the messiest. Usually I would just add enough water that would be okay. But, you know, sometimes recipes act differently. Like this one, I shouldn't have added more water. Now that I'm working with it, I added too much water. It's okay. You know what we do? We add more flour. It's just fine.
Sticky.
It's a very sticky dough, which is funny because usually it's really dry. There we go. My water just sat on the outside is what happened. So I'm just going to knead this just for a couple minutes. Not even a couple minutes, just until it's like incorporated. Everybody kneads differently. And honestly, I don't knead very often because I use my KitchenAid or I use my bread machine. But maybe we can make this in the bread machine. I should try it. Can I knead? Yeah, I have bad shoulders. I hurt my shoulder when we were building our greenhouse and I still haven't recovered from it. So there's our dough. That's basically it. It's all incorporated together. Salt, lye water, flour, and water. No, I already said that. Oh no, lye water, water. Lye water, water, flour, and salt.
I was trying to come up with a dough joke. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, there's our dough.
Sure.
You're going to take that and you're going to wrap it with some cellophane and let it sit for 1 hour just on the counter. It's going to allow the glutens and everything to do what they need to do in your dough. And in 1 hour, I will show you guys how we form this into ramen noodles, which is kind of a vital part of making ramen noodles. Anyways, we will be back in 1 hour. Hey guys, we're back. Our dough sat for 1 hour and it's stuck under here. What we are going to do now is we have well, let me show you the box. It's from 1980 something. So.
Yeah, it's from 1980 something.
Oh, I just broke the box.
You broke the box? Man.
This is the...
I have some tape, it's okay.
This is the pasta machine that we have. We got it at Claro's in Southern California in like the 80s. I have seen them quite often actually.
She's saying that because the Claro stickers are like right on top.
On it. I have seen them quite often actually at thrift stores because people buy them to do artwork projects with clay and stuff like that. Alexa, stop the timer. Sorry for those of you that have Alexa, my bad on that. People buy them for art projects and stuff like that and then realize they're not going to use them or for cooking, let's be real, and then they don't use them. So I do see them from time to time in thrift stores, so keep an eye out for them. It's a manual one, super easy. It's a manual one. I know people use electric ones too, but I enjoy doing this. We like working with food.
Yeah. So if you've seen our biscotti, I call it biscotti because I always have before. It's kind of a similar thing, but I just take a little piece of the dough that my wife made and I flatten out with my hand a little bit. And is it set back to one, set back to one. So try to flatten out just a little bit, and then I just take it through the machine. The first part, oh, I've got to get on the right side.
Yeah.
Take it through the machine.
So this side has 2 rollers that you keep moving down so that you keep...
And of course that one's stuck a little bit.
Of course it's
No, it's okay. That happens sometimes. When that happens, it's not a big deal. You just fold it back over and you run it through again. A lot of times on the first run it does that. So
we when we do homemade pasta, we use semolina.
Happens every time. Every time.
We use semolina flour to prevent our noodles from sticking, or our dough from sticking. If it sticks, I have cornstarch. You can use arrowroot if you prefer, on a piece of parchment paper down here. And so you just can lightly flour your dough so that it doesn't stick to the machine. But also, like we did some noodles here, if you put the cornstarch on the noodles, they won't stick together when you put them on a drying rack.
So all I'm doing here is I'm using this machine to kind of thin it out one little stretch at a time. Allie's changing it for me there.
He can do it by himself, but I like to make this a 2-person job because that's what we do. And then he never goes to the last one. I don't know why.
So we're gonna take this. I never go to the last thinnest piece because Allie always tells me that she wants it to be
I do like
a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
So.
When we do spaghetti, I don't like going all the way to the thinnest because I feel like if we do spaghetti and you take it all the way thin, it's more like a ramen noodle than a spaghetti noodle. So that's why. Whatever.
So you can see
We like the cornstarch.
how this kind of came out here.
Yeah.
I put a little bit of cornstarch on it. That's just gonna help it like not stick together.
Yeah.
You can probably see right here that we did
We did one
there already, and so it just kind of keeps it all together. So I'll put it through the other side now, and Ali will help me with this part to get these out. And this is a pretty big one actually.
Yeah.
But you can see this machine just like takes it through.
That's it. Now we have our pasta, and then Shawn built us this little drying rack.
I'm gonna build a better one, I promise.
It's pine boards, and then we stuck dowels on it, and it works perfectly. So I don't know why he'd want to make another one. Well, I broke it.
It's just for drying them a little bit, and they don't have to dry that long.
They don't have to dry that long.
I believe you can leave them out for up to like 24 hours
You
actually,
can
or
if
something
you want
like
to
that.
dry.
But
We've done that. I prefer to have them a little fresher when we drop them in the water. Otherwise, they get like really hard to put in the pot.
yeah, then they only take like 3 minutes?
It takes 3 minutes to cook.
3
so
minutes.
from this point, you can either freeze them in what they call a bird's nest. So basically, you would take your noodles and kind of form them in a little pile like that. And
There's
you
always
freeze
that
them. You freeze them in a Ziploc raw. I have a pot of boiling water going back here. You boil them for 3 minutes when you're ready to make them. That's pretty much it. We'll show you one more rolling out.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll show you the final product. Because after we cook it, we'll show you what it looks like.
I'll just flatten this out again. Give me a second.
So like I was saying earlier, you can roll this out super duper flat with a rolling pin, but look how skinny these noodles are, y'all. Do you see how skinny those noodles are? You would not want to cut those with a pizza wheel. It would take forever. And so that's why I was saying it's best to have a pasta machine for this recipe.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
We decided we were going to buy an electric pasta machine, and then I did a lot of research, and Philips is supposed to be like the best one, but I just decided we like using it for manual stuff. The only reason I would get an electric one is to do like ziti or manicotti or some of the tube ones, because you can't do that on here. This does do ravioli though if we buy the right attachments. But we can do fettuccine on it, and we can do spaghetti on it. We can do enough that we're comfortable just using this.
Yes, absolutely. And I kind of like doing it anyways. Like I don't know, it's just fun to me.
Yeah. It only takes a few minutes to make your own pasta.
It is easier with 2 people.
You can use rice noodle as well. You make it the same way, but you would use rice flour instead of all-purpose flour when you make the original noodles.
We're just putting this on cornstarch again for this
Cornstarch for
particular
sticking.
recipe, so it doesn't stick together too much. I just brush it off just a little bit.
Yeah.
probably see what I'm doing there.
Yeah.
Just brush it off just a little bit, just so it kind of dries it out or keeps it from sticking.
It just keeps it from sticking, that's it.
And then the second person makes it really easy to
Switch the handle.
I gotta switch the
We always forget to switch the handle. Okay.
You ready? That comes through. Second person makes it easy to pull it out.
Grabber.
And there you go.
There you go. So we're gonna put that over on our rack. And we're gonna finish the rest of it, and then
we're feeding 5 people tonight, so we got a few more to do, but
yeah.
not a problem. It'll take us a few minutes.
We forgot to put on aprons, y'all.
Oh, I didn't put on an apron. I have my shirt on.
His pants are covered in flour. It's cornstarch. It's fine. It'll come off. It's fine. We'll be back to show you. So, like we said, all you're gonna do is drop these into boiling water. I don't salt boiling water when I do these ones. It's just boiling water. You cook them for 3 minutes, and then you drain them, and we will bring you back to show you the final product.
Okay.
Y'all, we filmed the ending, we put the ramen into bowls and realized that our mics weren't working. They had actually died because it took us so long to make all of our recipes today. But I put our ramen into 5 different bowls. Our ramen's slightly overcooked. I cooked it for 4.5 minutes on accident, and it's a little gummy. So, but overall, let me see if I can pick up one ramen noodle. I'm gonna use 2 chopsticks that don't match. Good job. The ramen itself, there's 1 ramen noodle, and it's the difference between spaghetti and ramen is that ramen definitely has a different flavor and texture. It's not.
Oh, it's horrible.
That'll be one of our bowls that fell in there. Yeah. They're
Very good.
the texture's different than spaghetti.
They're really good.
Yeah.
They're a little bit
Slightly
soft.
overcooked.
They're a little bit soft. When you make it fresh, you definitely need to boil it
You
quite
do
as
not
well.
boil it.
So,
Yeah. So
but
do
they're
2.5
still really
minutes probably instead of 3. But like I was saying on the video that didn't get filmed, we do soft-boiled eggs. My husband marinates these in a soy sauce and mirin mixture with some brown sugar, and I don't even know, but if you guys want the recipe, comment below, I'll leave it. We do green onion. We do a chicken chashu, so it's a chicken that we cook low and slow in the oven for like an hour. It's just chicken thighs. We do a garlic corn. We have our pork broth over there, and then we do like a chili balm, a garlic chili balm that's super delicious. Made by the same people that make sriracha. It's so buried in there. We haven't used it in a minute, so it's probably at the back of the refrigerator. I'm
I'll
gonna
find
try to find it for you. But it is a garlic chili sauce that is made by the same people that make sriracha. It's actually out of Irwindale, California, which is really close to our hometown.
there you go.
It's called garlic chili sauce or tuang otu. Just kidding, I don't know how to speak in another language, so I'm hoping you can see that. This stuff is really, really good on it. It adds a little spicy kick. So
If you like heat, yeah,
if
it
you like
adds some
heat,
heat.
totally
Adds some
worth
heat.
it. But that's how we make our ramen. If you guys want us to do a more in-depth video beyond like just the noodles themselves, but like I was saying, you can freeze these, you can dry them, and they're super easy and delicious. So I hope you guys go make it. The recipe will be linked below. Thanks for watching.